All right, so now it's my turn to get to introduce Dr. Spano. So as he told you, we've known each other since 1988, which is just ridiculous. And actually, we've played together even before that because we were in a high school honor band a couple of years before that at CU, which was the kind of the moment that changed my life in terms of my direction and what I wanted to do. So I bet some of these kids would want to know some embarrassing stories about Dr. Spano, maybe. But the problem is I don't really have any. He was always like the best student. I told my students this before, but we took Alec Murray's conducting class, one of the hardest classes I ever took. He did not give you any, any credit until you really, really worked hard and earned it. Nobody got an A in that class. It's one of the few classes I didn't get a good grade in. I got a B, and I earned that B. But Dr. Spano got an A. He's the only one in the class. I know that to be, I remember that. But he's always been just a tremendous musician, and very quickly at CU he made a real name for himself as a phenomenal clarinet player and a great conductor. And then after he went to CU, I'm sure you know he went to UCLA and studied with Dr. Tom Lee. And I don't think you know this, but years later, so Dr. Tom Lee, he and Alan McMurray are two of the great college conductors. I mean, there are a handful that are just known as some of the gurus of what we do. Tom Lee, Alan McMurray are two of them. And so years later, I was at a conducting symposium, and it was Alan McMurray's last conducting symposium, which is he used to do these conducting symposiums in the summer, and you got to go, and if you were lucky, you got to conduct at the symposium. Most people just watched. And this was his last one, so he brought all these, his favorite colleagues that he got to work with, Frank DeKelly, who was a composition teacher, a musician who taught at USC for a number of years, and a number of other names. But, so I got to go to that symposium, and at one of we had a little party at the end of it, and I said, I don't know if you know, I am good friends with Tony Spano, who was one of your students, and he says, oh, Tony Spano, what a great man. And he just gushed for like 15 minutes about what a great student Tony Spano was. So you are very lucky. You get to work with one of the great conductors, and I'm honored to introduce you and get to play with you on one more concert. So, Dr. Tony Spano.
Thank you, David. We have great teachers and great friends, and again, we've only had basically half a day here together, and it's been fun watching the kids hang out and have fun with each other, and be able to play together, have dinner together, hang out together. It's great to meet kids from somewhere else, and I hope this has been a good experience for them. I was just telling David, this is the actual baton that we got in that conducting class at the University of Colorado. I've had many batons. I have a baton bouquet in my room, and this is still my favorite baton. I still love this baton. And we're gonna play a piece that we haven't spent a lot of time today. We had like 15-20 minutes to rehearse. It is called Ruckus, and it's exactly what you think Ruckus is by Rendell Standards, and I hope you enjoy it. like to bring out both directors, David and Daryl, to come out here. And I want to take some pictures. Can you take some pictures for us? Let's have everyone stand up, please. Could one of my parents come grab my camera and take some pictures?
Here, John, stand on there. Baby, look back here real quick.
Let's look to the back.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you. A couple more thank yous. Our tech director, J.D. Sargent, in the booth. Our arts coordinator, Heather Moses. There she is. Thank you, Heather. Thank you again for coming out tonight. Longmont band is going to pack up and they're going to head out on their buses. Culver band, I'm going to ask them to help move our equipment back, and we're going to strike the stage like we usually do after a concert. So thank you again for your help. Have a great night. All right, please welcome the Longmont High School band. To start their concert and bring out their director, Mr. Daryl Abramson.
Thank you. That was Carl L. King's Excelsior Gallup, one of the great American march riders, right up there with John Philip Sousa. Nice, energetic way to start. Before we carry on, I'd just like to thank everybody here at Culver City High School for having us. It's been a great day. We started with some clinics, rehearsing with both groups. We had a nice dinner together. Just a great day, bringing all these kids together, having fun. And it's just been a really, really enjoyable experience for us. And I'd also like to, while I'm up here, thank our chaperones who came along on the trip with us. Without them, we couldn't do this. It literally takes a village, right? Next, we'd like to do a piece. This is by Samuel R. Hazo, and he is a composer he's the only composer in history that has won both composition contests from the National Band Association. So he's right on up there. He's not only writes for all levels of band music, from elementary on up to college music. He's also delved into the commercial world though and written for TV, for motion pictures, and even for people such as Lucinda Williams. So this is the first movement from his Georgian suite, and it's titled Our Kingsland Spring.
So I want to introduce the other director of the Longmont High School Band, and let's bring him out here, David Merrill. So the reason David reached out to ask if they could come out here originally and the 3 times now that they've done this is because David and I met as freshmen in college at the University of Colorado at Boulder. We were next door neighbors in the dorm, and just so happened to be that way, and both music majors, music education majors, and we were in marching band together and all the ensembles together, and have known each other all these many years, and it's always great to have him come out here because our mentor teacher at the University of Colorado, Al McMurray, who is still in touch, and used to always say, it's always best to make music with friends. So we're great friends, and I really appreciate us making music together, and especially all of our students getting to know each other and working together. You'll hear a piece of we learned together today. There was a clinic this afternoon as well. Dr. Larry Stoffel, who's the band director at the Cal State Northridge, came down to work with the Longmont Band. He's a great conductor, musician. He also was in his first year of his master's program at the University of Colorado at Boulder. And so we've known each other since 1988. And so we took a picture and David sent it to Alan McMurray to say hi. And so it's always nice to cross paths with these great musicians. And it's a great opportunity to make music with friends. So I really appreciate having Longmont here and for David to make all that effort and all the parents to help chaperone and coordinate this, because I know traveling is a big deal and it's a lot of work. So I appreciate your help in making this happen so our kids can do this together. So thank you, David.
Check. Okay. That piece was called Metamorphosis by Andrew Boyson. And I love the way music can tell a story. The story that rings in my head when I first heard that and when we played is the image of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, and that beginning being slow, and then eventually we have the caterpillar turning into the butterfly and then soaring away. This next tune that we're going to do is called Quad City Stop. It's by Michael Sweeney, and this was commissioned years ago from a band out of the Quad Cities area in Iowa. And so when Michael Sweeney wrote this, he kind of included a few different elements from that area. One was the elements of some of the Native American groups that lived there in the past, and so he incorporated some tonality and some, as you're going to find out, some stomping and clapping. But then later, it turns into something quite different. Michael Sweeney, from Irish descent, decided to kind of throw in some Irish sort of sounds into the ending. And when the piece was finished, he gave it to the band director who had commissioned it, and said, "I hope you don't mind, I threw in some Irish elements." And it had turned out that the band director had actually just lost his wife. She had died, sadly, to cancer, and she was Irish. And so it was just this perfect symbolism that this piece that it was commissioned for them had those elements in it. So we're going to play this for you. This is Quad City Stomp. We're gonna do a quick set of change while we bring Culver City High School up. It gives me an opportunity to say a few words. First of all, thank you to the Culver City Band for allowing us to come and play with them today. It's been a really fun day for us, a fun afternoon. And to my dear friend, Tony Spano, who I've known, as he said, for many, many years. We'll give it a minute to get things situated.